Here we are back with part 2 of Week 8 predictions. We left off on Friday's games. We'll continue right into Saturday's games. Georgia Southern at Coastal Carolina. The spread is Coastal Carolina by 5.5. The over-under is 51.5. Kind of my thing to watch in this game is definitely who wins time and possession, because as well as Georgia Southern runs the ball, they kind of run that triple option kind of thing. Coastal Carolina runs it very well. Like I said in my preview for the Louisiana UAB game, Louisiana gave up 48 carries of 212 yards to Coastal Carolina, so they run the ball very well. Who can control the game more, and who can force a turnover and earn their offense an extra possession? We'll have to see. Both teams, like I said, they're faring very well for themselves. Georgia State is scoring 30 points a game when only giving up 19. Coastal Carolina is scoring 40 points a game and only giving up 23, so they're doing very well. I do think Coastal Carolina is a better team here. Coastal Carolina, I think, does get the win here, 35-30. Next game is Temple at Memphis. The spread is Memphis by 13.5. The over-under is 71.5. My player to watch, of course, is Brady White. He's been phenomenal. 90 of 129, 1,062 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So can Temple slow him down a little at least? Just a little. Just to maybe stop the bleeding. I don't think they will. But I think what will happen is Memphis hasn't been playing outstanding defense. I think Temple will stay relatively close because of that bad defense. I think Memphis is going to win 45-31. Next game is UTEP at Charlotte. Charlotte is favored by 14, and the over-under is 49.5. My player to watch here is Deion Hankins. 65 attempts, 300 yards, 500 touchdowns, 4.6 average. He is a running back for UTEP. The reason I say this is because Charlotte is allowing 207 rushing yards a game. So if there's a bright spot for that game, it's definitely Hankins. And if they can get him going and maybe control the game, maybe they'll keep this close and maybe win the game. I see him maybe having a good game. I think Charlotte wins 38-34. Southern Mississippi at Liberty. Liberty's favored by 11. The over-under is 63. Player to watch for me is Malik Willis, quarterback of Liberty. He's 64 for 777 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He's also got 59 carries, 398 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the ground. So he's kind of a do-it-all player. Can Southern Miss defense show up for a game? They're giving up 40 points a game and 489 yards a game. I don't think they're going to show up. I think Liberty's going to win this one, 43-20. My next game is Tulane at UCF. UCF is favored by 19.5. The over-under is 72.5. My player to watch is Dylan Gabriel. We all know that. He's played phenomenal. Any losses they've had this year, it's not on him. He's 122 of 188. That's incredible. 1,756 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Tulane, I think the chance you get is if you get to Dylan Gabriel and you get him down consistently. And this is where I'm going to shock people. I could regret this, but this is my upset pick. I'm picking Tulane to beat UCF 41-38. Next game is Florida Atlantic at Marshall. Marshall's ranked number 22. Marshall's favorite by 17. The over-under is 50.5. My player to watch is Brendan Knox, running back for Marshall. He's at 93 attempts, 455 yards, 7 touchdowns, and is averaging 4.9 yards a carry, so almost 5 yards a carry. Knox versus Florida Atlantic's pretty good run defense. They're only giving up 82 yards a game. That's, to me, that's the matchup you definitely want to look at. I think Marshall will get the advantage in that matchup. I think Marshall wins 23-17. My next game is Middle Tennessee State at Rice. The spread is Rice by 3.5. Over under is 51. Imagine being so bad that a team hasn't played before yet this year is favored it to win. Like I said, it's Rice's first game, so I can't go on a lot here. I could just go on what MTSU is, and they're bad. They are a bad football team, but I do think they win here. I think they're going to win 34-27. Next game is Houston at Navy. Houston is favored by 14. Over-under is 54.5. Player to watch for me is Navy fullback Nelson Smith. He's got 55 carries, 342 yards, and 6 touchdowns on the year. Again, same thing as last week for me with Navy. They have to start hot. They have to score first, and they have to get up so they can run the ball, kill the clock, and do what they do best. Maybe not this year, but in other years. And keep their defense off the field. Don't give Houston any extra possession, so don't turn the ball over. Houston does have a very good run defense so far this year. They're allowing 74 a game, so watch out for that, even when Navy's not in their best year. But I do think Houston wins. Both Navy and Tulane have been weird teams for me, and right now Navy, I think, is improving. I just think they will drop this game 28-20. Next game is Georgia State at Troy. This is a game I kind of had a tough time with. Troy is favored by 2.5. The over-under is 68.5. My player to watch is Troy quarterback Gunnar Watson. He's 106 out of 154, 1,081 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I think Troy wins this game 31-28, but I was going back and forth on picking Georgia State or not. Georgia State, I don't know. I got a bad feeling about that game. Next game is UL Monroe at South Alabama. South Alabama is obviously favored by 14.5. The over-under is 56.5. My player to watch is Carlos Davis, 80 carries, 385 yards, 2 touchdowns. ULM defense, they have no run defense at all. They allow 262 yards a game. They're winless. They're 0-5. They don't score any points. They only put 13.4 points a game. So what do they really do? I don't even think they really show up at all. I think South Alabama wins 27-6, and that's very simple. I was thinking about making the game a little bit closer, but nothing speaks to me on why ULM will keep this game within 1 possession. Next game is Louisiana Tech at UTSA. Louisiana Tech is favored in this game by 2.5. The over-under is 53.5. My player to watch is Sincere McCormick. You heard that, UTSA? Sincere McCormick. Literally my thing for this game is give the ball to him. They gave it to him 18 times against Army, and he ran efficiently when they gave it to him, and I'm just telling you to give it to him even more. Just feed him the ball. I think this game is a fun one. I think it's a close one. I think Louisiana Tech wins 28-27. The next game is very interesting. Cincinnati at SMU. SMU is favored by 2.5. The over-under is 55.5. My player to watch is Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati quarterback. He's 47 of 78, 597 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He has not played perfect. He needs to play perfect in this game. This is very much a strong defense versus a very strong offense. So this could potentially be who breaks first. Does Cincinnati's defense take over the game, or does SMU's offense take over the game? Because if SMU's offense takes over the game, forget it. But I think Cincinnati needs to establish the run game early. They got to really get that going to keep SMU's really good offense off the field. And Cincinnati, it's PYP. It's pick your poison and who you stop. It's either Bouchel or Bentley. Who do you stop? Now, in my opinion, I think you go out to stop Bouchel, because if they're scoring however many points a game they're scoring, something ridiculous, you don't want to make up the big plays. You want to maybe force them to drive the ball down the field to score. So you might have to give up Bentley, but it might benefit you more to keep yourselves in the game with an offense that does. Cincinnati's offense does put up 35 points a game, but they are definitely not as good of an offense as SMU is. So you do not want to go to a shootout if you're Cincinnati. So I think SMU wins in what would be a low scoring game for them, 27-24. Next game is Texas State at BYU. BYU is favored by 28.5. The over-under is 60.5. Probably most of those points are going to be from BYU. And my player to watch is Zach Wilson. He's 107 out of 136, 1,641 yards, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. That does not include what he did in the ground game this year so far. Texas State, can they get it together? They're 1-5. They haven't been able to put it together. I don't think they will put it together. I think BYU wins 42-14. The Mountain West starts this week, and I know nothing about the teams because they haven't played this year. I don't really like going based off of last year. So I'll just pick the teams. I can't really get into detail, obviously. But Utah State is at Boise State. I think Boise State will win that game. Wyoming is at Nevada. I think Wyoming will win that game. Hawaii is at Fresno State. I was back and forth in this game. I'm going to pick Fresno State. UNLV versus San Diego State. I think San Diego State will win the game. And Air Force at San Jose State. And I think Air Force will win that game. And that will welcome the Mountain West to the 2020 season as far as, constantly playing. Air Force did play Navy, but that was their only game so far. I don't think any of the other teams have played yet this year, so we'll welcome them back, and that does it for Week 8. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the recap on Sunday.